Beauty trends, they come and go, but those receipts from the makeup store and salon visits definitely stick around, right? If you've ever wondered how to feel fabulous without blowing your budget, today's segment I think is for all of us, actually. Here to share how to manage your beauty spending is financial advisor Tanya Torres. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Erin. Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you. Since we're talking about makeup, yours looks divine this morning.
Thank
So
you.
good. Okay, so for people who don't know, what would you say goes into beauty spending? It's not just buying makeup though, right?
Absolutely not. So beauty spending goes far beyond just makeup. As a woman, I think it's very true that when you look good, you feel good, right? So
Yes.
this includes things like makeup. It can include skincare, nails, hair, and even like wellness items like supplements. For other women, it's going to include things like lash fills, facials, Botox, things like that. The industry does a really good job as marketing beauty as self-care. So as to make us feel that the price shouldn't matter, but of course it's super important to keep those costs manageable because they do add up if we're not intentional about them.
They do add up and they add up quickly. Even when you were just listing stuff, I'm like, okay, nails, yes, hair, yes, makeup, yes. There's so much that goes into it that before you know it, you look at your bank account and you've spent $700. You know what I mean? And so I heard of a setting, a beauty allowance. You can set a beauty allowance or you can set a glam budget. Do you think that actually works though?
I do. So beauty allowance, glam budget, and finance, we like to call it a sinking fund. It's basically money that you set aside with the actual intention of spending it. So for some, this might be $100 a month. For some, it's $300 a month. The key here is that you're giving yourself permission to spend without the guilt, but also with some boundaries.
Okay, I like that. How do you say someone should recommend, or how should we recommend for ourselves, I guess, the right budget without going too crazy?
This is going to look slightly different for everyone, as it's really going to depend on your income and your goals. I would start with evaluating your current spending habits within the category because it's important to plan, but more than anything, it's important to not forego the rest of your goals because you're allocating too much money spending on your beauty and self-care. So without sacrificing your savings and your investing goals, set a realistic amount that's not going to break the bank, but it's also not going to make you feel super restricted within the space.
Mm-hmm.
And then good practice is just to prioritize which categories or services matter most to you. Maybe you don't need that $40 lipstick, but the medical grade SPF is definitely a non-negotiable. This way you have a mix of like splurge worthy items and also affordable products. There's a saying that says you can have it all, just not all at once. So prioritizing what you want to spend on will make the actual buying part a little bit easier.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a good tip too, because of the simple fact that, like you said, pick which ones you need absolutely right now. And then maybe even the ones that you're wanting, you can get it from a different store where it maybe costs less. Now, how do we balance those impulse buys? Because you know, we will walk into a store and see a beautiful lipstick or eyeshadow and we're like, girl, we need that now.
Yeah, so some best practices, or I guess you can say rules that you can set to avoid those impulse buys are one, the first is prioritize by category. Know what beauty products and what services matter most to you. If skincare is your non-negotiable, then maybe you can spend more there, but go to drugstore products for like makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is using a 7-day rule. So I would set a threshold, say it's like $75 or $100. Anything that costs over this threshold, give yourself 7 days before purchasing. Most impulse buys lose their magic within like 1 or 2 days. So that 7-day rule is a good way for you to just kind of hit the pause button. And then a third one is track your per use cost. So maybe that foundation that you are going to use every day is worth the $50 or $60, but that lipstick that you're only going to wear one time or for one event, maybe it's not worth spending $40 or $50 on. So cost per use is a really good mindset shift that can help you buy smarter. And of course, nowadays there's a drugstore or a generic alternative to that brand name product that's going to cost you 3 times more just because of the name on the box. And then lastly, and I would say my favorite is tap into those reward programs. I am an Ulta girly through and through, but Ulta, Sephora, even Target all have great rewards programs. So if you stack your points, use them to replenish your items. It's literally like free money. And also, all of these stores usually have annual sales or they'll send you coupons periodically to your inbox. So use those strategically, and then it's less money out of your pocket.
Very good tips this morning, Tanya. I'm going to use that cost per use one because I use my makeup every single day, so that makes me feel good. Thanks for being here this morning and sharing your tips with us.
Thank you.